Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk. Back today with another video. This one's gonna be a little bit quicker of a deck tech than most of the ones I give out. I got a comment on the other day when I was talking about Kano being top 5 in Blitz to do a video on Kano. I am not a Kano aficionado, right? I've only played Kano a very limited amount. He hurts my brain. He's very good, but he's also very difficult here to learn. A little bit more approachable in Blitz, right? Because he is so good. So I want to give the what I would run with Kano. I don't own all the bells and whistles for Kano, but I will kind of sub in obviously the upgraded pieces that I would have, particularly Storm Striders. I don't have that with Kano right now, but obviously for the leg piece, if I had Storm Striders, I would play it. So I'll quickly go over this. Just a quick fun deck tech. If you have the pieces for this deck or most of the pieces, I highly suggest running Kano and Blitz. If you can figure him out and understand his tempo and his play, he's very good in Blitz. One of the top heroes for sure. Crucible Aetherweave is kind of the main weapon we're running, so always the one you're running, right? The next card you play is turn the effect that deals arcane damage, deals that much +1. It's also instant speed, so you can play it on your turn and the opponent's turn. Fennel Spring Tunic, typically, obviously, the main centerpiece for this. Allows you to get that one extra resource, which is really good for Kano. If you don't have Tunic, Robo Rapture is a good option as well. If you want to play something at instant speed, you use your action point by destroying Robo Rapture, then play something at instant speed. Basically allows you to pitch to Kano for free. It's really useful for that. At the arm piece, generally using Metacarpus Node more than anything. I have seen someone side in Gambler's Gloves, which I never thought about what Gambler's Gloves does until I read the effect. But basically, if someone's rolling something with a 6-sided die and it resolves, you can activate Gambler's Gloves on their turn. So if they roll something that gives them more action points like a Levia or like a Rhinar, you can choose and opt to use Gambler's Gloves, which will then affect their turn as well. It's a really interesting and funny mechanic, and I heard someone talk about it. I've never personally done it, but it's really interesting. Iron Gauntlet's also another one in here that you could do, but I highly don't recommend that. That's just kind of if you don't have either one of these. At the headpiece, I personally run Talismanic Lens. One, I don't own a skull cap, but even if I did, with Kano, you don't really care about blocking anyway, unless you just have a crap hand and you're throwing it away and waiting for the next turn. So I don't really care about blocking with skull cap anyway. And on top of that, my natural equipment loadout already has Arcane Barrier 3, so I don't really need to worry about the Arcane or the Null Rune matchup. So I like to be able to look, at any point during the game, be able to opt to look at what's coming up and possibly be able to set up a pivot turn off of that, or at the very least prevent myself from whiffing. So I like Talismanic Lids, but if you prefer Skull Cap, it's totally fine. I would just go with Talismanic Lens personally. Getting into the deck, running 4 Ether Spindles, it allows you to opt. It has an opt mechanic in it, red dealing 4 damage, and basically, for the most part, unless your opponent's running full 4-0, you're going to get to opt something when you play this. It's really useful for that. Blazing Ether obviously can kind of be an in-game mechanic if your opponent just decides to race you and doesn't block anything out, especially on your turn. Let's say you've dealt like 10 arcane damage, you play Blazing Ether at the very end of it, and you basically double your damage output, which basically can win you the game. One of my friends beat me on turn 1. His turn, basically doing that. I didn't block him. I was going to try to straight race him, and I had no cards in hand left to block the Null Rune. He played Blazing Ether at the end and knocked me out. Something Kano can very well do. Forked Lightning is really good. Forked Lightning is actually insane with, what is it called? Stir the Ether Winds, because that +3 mechanic affects both instances, so it's dealing 5 and 5. So that wombo combo is pretty nutty. And then if you do a Chain Lightning into any other attack as well as another big wombo combo. I'm only running 1 Nourishing Emptiness because I just don't want to see that twice. I really don't. I mean, the +1 Intellect's nice, but like I want to chain Arcane. I don't want to just because usually when Nourishing Emptiness is played, someone's gonna probably chop block you for 3. They're gonna take 3 damage, but that pretty much ends your turn. It kind of sucks. I guess it can be really good, obviously on 1 pivot turn, but I just don't want to see it twice. Snapback, I run 2 reds, 2 blues, and 1 yellow. I really like the fact that I can play this at instant speed if I've played any other Kano card at all, right? It's pretty much an automatic instant whenever it's played for the most part. Voltic Bolt's good just for sheer damage, dealing 5 arcane at red. Um, Rouse and Ether's good. I won 1 red and 1 blue. A little bit interesting, but I like this um, just simply because you deal 4 arcane at red, and your next effect deals that much +1. If you crucible that, then it's that much +2. Pretty much, it's really good. Tome Etherwood, it's pretty standard, right? You can use that draw mechanic, really useful. Um, the eye is really good. I don't have the eye specifically, but you can pitch it as a blue, and you automatically opt 2. It's really good. Obviously, it's like a mini Kano ability without having to use all your resources. Energy Potion is good to set up pivot turns. Tome of Fendal is really good as well. You can use that just for some life gain, especially in those matchups where someone's trying to straight race you. It can be a difference maker, and you draw more cards off of it. Ether Flare, Gaze the Ages, Scalding Rain. Most of these are pretty simplistic. Time Snap Potion is really good for pivot turns. This is what I would run with Kano. Like I said, not a Kano aficionado by any means, but I saw someone in the comments say they wanted to at least see what a build would look like. This is what I would do. I highly suggest going online and looking at how some Kanos play. One Kano I saw that I particularly liked the way his pacing is back in the Calling Las Vegas. There's a VOD review. If you just type in Kano, the Calling Las Vegas, it'll pop up. Go look at how he played. He played really well. Obviously, he got a little lucky at the end to win. Spoiler alert, but because he hit just the most stupid combo ever. But I mean, he got to day 2. I think he went 8-3 with Kano, or 9-3, or something like that. Something crazy. Which with Kano and Classic Constructed is insane. Obviously, it's not Blitz, but you can at least see the tempo and how he's playing. Because there's a million ways to play Kano, and I think it's half that Kano's cards aren't the greatest or his ability, but it's also half that it takes someone really devoting a lot of time to play him properly. His barrier to entry to learn is very high, so that's another reason. Yeah, let me know what you think of the list. Pretty simplistic, pretty nothing too crazy. I'm gonna be putting out some more videos this week. Sorry, I haven't slowed down the content aspect, but I've been doing one every 3 or 4 days just because I've been doing other stuff, not every day like I want to be doing. But I'll try to get a couple more videos out this week, probably like 2 or 3, if not 4, and see what y'all's thoughts are on it. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts on the list. Any Kano mains out there, please give me your suggestions on what you would do. This is just one man's opinion. But yeah, thank y'all so much for tuning in to TCG Talk, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Thank you.